What I'm going to share with you today will fundamentally shift your understanding of wealth. My name is Marcus Thorne. Over my career, I've built fortunes, faced significant setbacks, and rebuilt again through applied principles. I've learned what genuinely creates lasting prosperity and what drains it away. And there's a critical truth about conventional saving that financial institutions hope you never fully grasp. If the majority of your net worth is parked in a standard bank account, you are committing a major strategic error with your finances. You are slowly but surely being eroded. A silent force is diminishing your purchasing power year after year, and most people don't see it happening until it's too late. Before I reveal where financially savvy individuals allocate their capital instead, I need you to take a quick action. Join this community by subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Why? Because the insights I'm sharing are transformative and can add substantial value to your financial future. This isn't just theory, it's a practical framework. So take that step and subscribe now. You likely believe your money is secure in the bank. You see a balance of $10,000, $50,000 or more and feel a sense of safety. That perception, however, is misleading. Each day those funds remain static, their real-world value is declining. Let me break down the mechanics simply. The culprit is inflation, the rising cost of goods and services over time. Currently, inflation significantly outpaces the interest your bank offers. Your savings might earn 1% or 2% annually if you're fortunate. Meanwhile, everyday expenses like food, energy, and housing are climbing at 5%, 6%, or higher. Do the calculation. You're losing 3 to 5% of your buying power annually. That isn't security, it's a gradual financial drain. What's truly concerning is that banks are fully aware of this dynamic. They profit from the gap. They utilize your deposits, pay minimal interest, and lend that capital out at much higher rates. They generate wealth with your money, while you receive a fraction of the benefit, believing you're being prudent. It's a widespread, accepted system that disadvantages the average saver. Those who understand how money truly functions opt out of this cycle. They don't allow liquid capital to sit idle and depreciate. They deploy it into vehicles that not only protect, but also grow their wealth. I anticipate your objection. Marcus, I need cash for emergencies. Absolutely. I am not advocating for $0 in the bank. Liquidity is essential. Maintaining a reserve covering 3 to 6 months of expenses in an accessible account is smart planning. However, any capital beyond that safety net, any surplus you're hoarding in low-yield accounts thinking it's the safe play, is working against you. Excessive conservatism can be the very thing that stifles your long-term financial growth. The middle class has been conditioned for generations. Save diligently, avoid risk, trust the bank. That advice had merit decades ago, when interest rates were robust and inflation was muted. In today's economic environment, that same strategy can become a trap. It prioritizes the illusion of safety over the necessity of growth. Let me share an observation from working with highly successful individuals. Their primary wealth is never held in cash. They understand that excessive cash holdings are a depreciating asset, like holding ice in your hand. It simply melts away over time. Instead, they systematically move capital into tangible assets. These assets preserve value, often generate income, and provide a natural defense against inflation. These strategies aren't secretive or excessively complex. They are accessible, time-tested approaches available to anyone who decides to learn and act. So, what are these key asset categories? What are the 5 pillars the financially astute use instead of letting capital stagnate? That's precisely what I'll outline. I'll explain each one, its strategic purpose, and how you can begin implementing them. This isn't merely about aggressive wealth accumulation, it's about proactive defense. It's about ensuring the money you've worked for retains its potency for your future goals. If you continue on the conventional path, playing it safe with excessive cash, you may wake up 2 decades from now realizing your purchasing power has been quietly stripped away. not by a single event, but by the persistent creep of inflation in a system not designed for your optimal growth. I've witnessed this repeatedly. Hard-working people save responsibly, only to find their retirement fund buys less than they planned. Their dream lifestyle is out of reach because inflation consumed their wealth while they weren't looking. My goal is to help you avoid that outcome.
An authoritative, serious, and direct male financial expert voice with a professional, no-nonsense tone and clear, urgent delivery. The first asset class is a historical pillar of preservation. It has endured through empires, wars, and economic revolutions. Affluent families have utilized it to safeguard their capital for millennia. It's not a trendy digital asset. It's far more established and proven. I'm referring to gold. Before dismissing it as archaic, understand why it remains in every sophisticated portfolio. It's not about doomsday preparation. It's about timeless insurance. Every fiat currency in history has eventually lost value, many to zero. Gold, however, has maintained a recognizable store of value for over 5,000 years. Its key attributes are scarcity and tangibility. It cannot be created digitally or devalued by monetary policy. Consider gold primarily as insurance, not a high-growth investment. I advocate allocating a modest portion, save 5 to 10% of your portfolio to it. This isn't about speculation, it's about having a stabilizing asset that typically holds value during currency weakness or market stress. You can own physical gold, coins or bars, for direct possession or through reputable exchange-traded funds, ETFs, for convenience and liquidity. The method matters less than the strategic allocation. It's your financial bedrock. However, preservation alone isn't enough for growth. For that, we turn to the second asset, dividend-growing equities. This is how you transform capital into an income-generating engine. When you own shares in companies that pay dividends, you own a piece of a real business. And the best part? They share their profits with you regularly. Imagine $50,000 earning 1% in a bank, $500 a year. Now imagine that same amount in a diversified set of quality dividend-paying stocks with an average yield of 4%. That's $2,000 in annual income, and that's just the start. Many companies increase their dividends yearly, so your yield on cost rises. Furthermore, the share prices themselves have appreciation potential. You benefit from dual returns, ongoing income, and long-term growth. This creates compounding wealth. Focus on companies with long histories of stable or growing dividends in essential sectors: utilities, consumer staples, healthcare. Build a diversified portfolio of these income generators. Consistency trumps excitement here. The third pivotal asset is real estate. I understand the immediate thought, I can't afford to be a landlord. Today, direct property ownership is not the only path. Let's discuss why real estate is powerful, then how to access it. First, it's a physical, useful asset with intrinsic value. Second, it can produce monthly rental cash flow. Third, it generally appreciates over the long term. Fourth, and crucially, it acts as a powerful inflation hedge. As prices rise, so typically do rents and property values. If managing properties isn't for you, consider real estate investment rights, or REITs. These are companies that own and operate portfolios of properties. By law, they must distribute most profits to shareholders as dividends. This allows you to gain exposure to real estate's income and appreciation potential without handling tenants or maintenance. Many REITs offer attractive dividend yields, providing both income and sector diversification. It's a cornerstone asset for a reason. Now, let's address the fourth asset, which is arguably the most critical of all. It's not something you buy, it's something you build. It's your knowledge and skills, your human capital and earning ability. You can lose market value in other assets, but no one can confiscate what you know and your capacity to create value. Your primary wealth-building tool is your own ability to generate capital. The most impactful investment you can make is in yourself, through education, skill acquisition, and expertise development. This enhances your income, which in turn provides more fuel for investing in the other asset classes. It's the foundation everything else rests upon. The fifth category is alternative investments. This includes areas like private equity, venture capital, cryptocurrencies, or collectibles. These are higher risk, higher potential return avenues. The wealthy often allocate a small, targeted portion, example 3 to 10% of their portfolio here, for diversification and growth opportunities. For example, I might allocate a minimal percentage to digital assets, like Bitcoin, an amount I'm prepared to lose, but which offers asymmetrical upside potential. The key principle: alternatives can add growth potential but should never form the core of a sound wealth plan. Let's synthesize this into a practical framework. For a simplified $100,000 portfolio, consider a balanced approach like this: 5 to 10% in gold, your insurance policy; 40 to 50% in dividend-growing stocks, your income and growth engine; 20 to 30% in real estate or REITs, your tangible inflation hedge; remaining 10 to 20% split between alternative investments and your liquid emergency cash reserve. This creates a diversified, resilient portfolio designed for both protection and growth. The single most important step, however, is to begin. Stop allowing inflation to silently appropriate your wealth. Start moving capital from passive holdings into active assets. Begin modestly if necessary, but begin. Capital is a tool. Stagnant cash loses its edge, while deployed assets can build empires. Your financial security and freedom are built on decisions you make today. Now, go out and take command of your financial future.